Hey everybody, Dave Schmitz, resistancebandtraining.com. Welcome to the band gym. Is this an exercise that you're often told to do because you got a rotator cuff problem? Maybe you're working it like this, maybe you have it on the wall and you're doing movements like this, and you find that the exercise really doesn't make a difference on your shoulder. Matter of fact, do you find that it actually makes your shoulder irritated? Makes sense, because it's an exercise that doesn't work. Yeah, it's designed to go ahead and strengthen the rotator cuff, doing the movement that dynamically the rotator cuff is supposed to do. But in reality, here's what the rotator cuff does. The rotator cuff stabilizes the ball and the socket of your shoulder joint. It teaches it how to stabilize so that we can then move our arm around. It keeps that stable, and it works with the shoulder blade muscles to go ahead and achieve that. Now, if that's what it does, but it says this is what it's supposed to do action-wise, which one would you choose? Well, I'll choose what it actually does in function, and that is stabilize. Now, I have 2 points that I found and why I believe this is not a good exercise, and what I'm about to show you is a good exercise sequence. Number one, as a physical therapist, I taught hundreds of patients how to do these rotator cuff exercises because I was told that's what you're supposed to do. Yet a lot of the patients complained of pain in their rotator cuff and it irritated them. Secondly, about 15 years ago, I severely tore my rotator cuff. It was a 3rd-degree tear and it was unrepairable according to some doctors. Fortunately, I found a doctor that helped me repair it. I never did these exercises. Why? Because it's not how the rotator cuff functions in reality. Let me take you through a progression of exercises that you can do to help yourself if you have rotator cuff problems. And I think these will help a great deal. Now, first of all, we've got to get your hand in contact with the ground so it can help the rotator cuff become a better stabilizer. Best way to do that is put you in a push-up position. And I'm going to go ahead and use a band as a support to help me. Now, if you don't need the band to help support you, that's fine. But you want to make sure that the trunk is tight. So I'm going to do just simple isometric holds in different positions and see if I can stabilize like that. Once I get good at that, I'm going to see if I can go ahead and do some push-up pluses with the band assisting me to get my rotator cuff to start stabilizing by using the ground to help it. Now, if that works well and you can start doing it, obviously get to where you don't need the band assist. From there, let's get a small band on your shoulders. Let's go back down and let's start holding with the band resistant now so that we're stabilizing in different positions. You can even start doing little mini push-ups to go ahead and really get that rotator cuff to start firing and working. Now, once you're doing well on the floor, now we got to bring you up here because this is where your arm functions. But we still want to simulate having the floor against our hand. How are we going to do it? We're going to take a band. We're going to put our hand in the band. Now when we go to push out, the band is functioning just like the floor. It's creating a force through my arm, making my rotator cuff stabilize. So now I can go ahead and function doing the same sequence of isometric holds that I did on the floor. Notice the band is over top of my shoulder. That is a better place to start. You'll have more success with that. Ultimately, split the band, put one of it below, and start doing the same exercises. Once you can do that, put your thumb through and see if you can push out and start doing it this way. All right? So you want to start doing these isometric rotations, just holds. You can go ahead and even try to move your body around a little bit while you're holding it. Those are great ways to go ahead and get that rotator cuff stabilizing and working in more of an open chain position. Once you get to that point, the next step now is to see if you can start doing some mini pushing and eventually start going through and doing pushing all the way. Start with the band above your shoulder when you start doing the pushing, and then eventually drop it underneath. See if you can start doing pushing like that. Once that goes well, now bring in overhead pressing by pushing the band apart, like I've showed you before using the push presses, and let's get you going. That would be a much better sequence in my mind of how to help your rotator cuff get going and feeling better. Hope that helped you out. Let's get you off these exercises. Don't feel bad if they're bothering you. It's not a good exercise. Try the progression I just showed you and let's see how you do. Have a great day, guys.